dark. What's going on? I should be on Facebook. It's wasting bits. Oh God. Facebook Live. Going to guitar lesson. Da 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 dum da ba ba bum. Where's it going? Left. Okay. Da 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 dum ba 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 bum. Da 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 dum ba 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 bum. Check test 1 2. Audio. Can you hear me? No audio feedback. Have to have faith that anyone will ever hear these words. So bright in here. It's completely dark. Already got my sip. My Yankees hat. People say, "You're a Yankees fan." I said, "No. The gas station didn't have Green Bay." That's right. Dutch Bros. Da-da-da-da-dum. Amy Vomit, Green Bay fan, Cheesehead, taught me how to whistle. If you have the means to get a punk rock girlfriend, I highly recommend it. So choice. Helmers. There's a light that never goes out. I look so thin here. Thanks. I used to be a fashion model. Now I'm Job of the Hut. I used to do so much. I got to do so much in my life. Hard work wasn't one of them, I tell you that. Being counted on to put food on the table wasn't one of them. I was never a breadwinner. Taking my time, just moving along. Oh shit. Blanket in the room. Pile, big. Should have shown. Hope someone cleans that up. Like piles of laundry or something. Piles of bedding on the on-ramp. Da-da-da-dum. Taking my time, just moving along. You'll forget about me after I've been gone. I like these glasses. Taking my time, don't want no more. Just outside of your front door. No service here between Grants Pass and Rogue River. No service till at least exit 45, which is at least 10 miles from Grants Pass. Bad service, spotty service, no service, bad. And I called AT&T, and one guy said, "Oh yes, that's a great idea. We'll put up more towers. Thank you for telling us to do so, and we'll get right on it." And I called back a month later, and the next day I said, "What are you talking about? We don't do that. It costs millions of dollars. But we have 5G now, so enjoy." 5G doesn't solve the problem. Don't let anyone fool you. 5G doesn't solve the problem. I guess the problem is topography. My calculus teacher, Calculus 1 instructor, Calculus 1, Calculus 2, his name is Heath Proskin in Cal State Monterey Bay. He was a professor of math, a PhD in math. And he said, people ask him, what kind of math did he study? And he says, long division. So funny. Make you a honorary math major in 5 seconds already. If you've ever been a math major, you'll know this. And if you haven't been a math major, you're about to be bestowed a new addition to your resume. Here we go. There's a Nobel Prize, right? We all know and love Nobel Prize. And what are they? What Nobel Prizes can you get? Peace, chemistry, biology, literature. But there's no Nobel Prize for math, right? You say, why is that? Why is there no Nobel Prize for math? Well, apparently there's no Nobel Prize for math because Alfred Nobel's wife left him for a mathematician. Now you're an honorary math major, irregardlessly of what major you majored in, or if you ever took college at all. If you never took college, look it up. There's something called a major. It's so fun. I got to do like 8 of them so far, 8 or 9, I don't know. Philosophy, 1992 in Road Community College. A couple of semesters, I guess, spring and summer. Philosophy, aviation at Glendale College. Psychology while I was in the Army, and came back to Glendale, finished with associates in general studies because I wanted to get the heck out of there. Just finish already. God, been at least 10 years already, and for a 2-year degree. And then, so that was through the marriage of Erin. Across the marriage of Erin, that was, a wonderful marriage from 1995 to 2000, right? I got my associates, I think, in 2001. I think I crossed the stage at Glendale College in 2000 because they let me, and then they said, oh, by the way, you got to take a couple more classes. Okay, fine. And I did, and it was amazing. I had to have faith. Doing the work wasn't that hard. It was just having faith that that the game was winnable. They tell me what to do, and I do it, and they say, guess what? This is what we told you to do, and you did it, and here's your prize, a diploma, right? Because they didn't. They screwed me. They said, this is what you need to do, and I did it, and they said, oh, by the way, here's more. Yep. Welcome to college. I got the full tilt taste of college right there. Right? And then that was 2000. I crossed the stage. And 2001, I got the diploma. And June 1st of 2000 was when I left Erin and went home to my mommy, my tail between my legs. And I was working at Earthling at the time. I got to tell this story so many times, and if you've never heard it before, it's so fun. Hold on. Gotta turn on wipers. So, while I was with Erin, I was in the Army, 1994 to 1998. And then, the Army could take no more of my insolence. You can only take me in small doses, and 3.5 years was enough. They invited me to leave, and I said thanks, and they gave me, for some reason they gave me an honorable discharge. Oh, thanks, perfect, wonderful, party. Right. And came back from the Army, drove back from Texas right to Erin's parents' house, Yorba Belinda. Walk in the door, sit down on the couch, turn on the TV, and right on the news. The news was on, and this guy was on the ramp between. He was standing next to his pickup truck on the ramp between the 110 South and the newly built 105, I guess, West. Blah. Okay, I guess it was actually the Diamond Lane, and got a flag saying HMOs are only in it for the money, and he's waving his shotgun around, and the cameras are rolling, and he kills himself right on TV. Welcome home from the Army, huh? Like literally the first very minute that we got home from Texas. That's the universe welcoming me home, right? And and the cameras kept rolling. So we get back to town, and here we are. Didn't know what I was going to do. Ended up going to yet another MLM presentation, multi-level marketing. This time it was for Scentsy, right? It's for perfume, cologne. imitation cologne perfume. And so Aaron and I, maybe it's a job, whatever, and end up, I've seen this before. We did NSA when I was 18 years old, selling water filters and air filters. And just, I've had so much fun with MLMs. Not that I ever sold anything, and don't get me wrong, I've never sold a damn thing in my whole entire life. Nothing. Had 20 plus cars, never sold any of them. And heaven forbid I ever have to sell the Rolex. I'd much rather it get stolen off my wrist. Make for a much better story. And, I'd automatically get $13,500 if they so choose to do so. And if someone said, give me your watch, I'd say, yes, I'm going to give you my Rolex GMT2, but please give me your contact information so I can give you the box and papers so you can actually do something with it. You're going to need them, right? So we do the Sensi thing, the seminar, and I get home, and for a split second, I was kind of contemplating actually doing this MLM, right? However that means, buying product, buying inventory, right? Because, that's 99% of the game is they're actually just selling you inventory and telling you to sell it yourself, at hopefully a profit. It's so funny. But I mean, isn't that how sales works at all? If you try to sell something that you didn't make, you go to a company that makes something, you say, I'm going to sell this stuff for you. They say, here, and they sell it to you at wholesale, right? There's a word called wholesale. I can't believe that there's such a word called wholesale, right? Or does that word not even exist anymore? I'm so far removed from the whole concept of the sales world, right? I was a salesman for PC Club, and we had wholesale prices and retail prices. But I wasn't a salesman, I was a cashier, And then they made me store manager. I was a cashier with the title of store manager with a new wife, Lucinda. Yay, Lucinda, right? Sales. You know what it takes to be a salesman? It takes brass balls. I used to be in sales once. It's a tough racket. It's a tough racket. There's a concept called wholesale, right? Meaning it's rolled into the game, right? That, what? It's rolled into the game that the middleman is supposed to pay someone for the stuff, inventory, with the hopes that they will sell it for a profit, right? Why doesn't the manufacturer just give the stuff to the salesman and say, please sell this? And what? Actually pay the middleman a salary, right? But I don't know. Maybe it happens. I don't know. I don't know. What do I know? Literally, that's easy for you to say, Brett. You have no idea what it's like in the real world. You have no idea. You've never had to work hard. You've never had to lift a finger. And in the Army, they tell you to pick up a scrap of paper, you complain. It's just crazy. 3.5 years of that, and the over-the-counter drugs, and cheating on my wife over and over, and having the gall to tell her about it beforehand, and so on. Beautiful, loving wife, and pipe up my ass, and just crazy stuff. Welcome to the Army. So we get back to town, me and Aaron, loving wife. Don't know what we're gonna do. Went to the Sensi, MLM, and then the very next day, or that day, Pete says, Liz, his wife is Liz. Pete, my brother, his wife is Liz. Liz's sister Teresa, boyfriend Robert Rizzo, needs a helper for doing electrical work. And Pete is just expecting that I'm going to take the job. And, I'm like, sure, fine, why not? Something to do, right? I guess I should get a job, and here it is. delivery, handed to me on a silver platter with no training, no nothing. Here you go, here's a job, you're hired, right? Because you know someone who knows someone. It's great. And so I started to work with Robert Rizzo, and I laughed every day. And Robert Rizzo's brother, Danny Rizzo, was the funniest guy I ever met. He'd ever met too. And Danny would crack wise, even smallest facial gesture, everything, the movements, everything. And I'll never watch a professional fight again, right? And is it okay if I smoke a bowl in here? Oh, sure, you can grill a chicken in here. Fucking Danny. So I got to work with Byrne doing electrical for the rest of the year. From May of 1998 to December. A May-December relationship. Great. God. Barbara Uber came May-December. I was 19, she was 40. So, at the end of, in December, I'm doing electrical, and one of the things, one day, Robert invited me to climb up this ladder and change this huge light bulb in this light fixture in this park in North Hollywood. And I looked at the ladder, I looked at him, I looked at the ladder, I said, I can't do this. And he kind of sneered at me and had Danny go up, and Danny went up and did it, right? And so Danny and Robert lost a lot of respect for me at that point, and I really didn't care, because I wasn't a hard charger at trying to be top electrician, top employee, and I was just hanging out, having fun, laughing every day. I was at a party at Robert's house one time. Danny was there, and there's people in the kitchen with us, and one of the women says to me, "What did you do? What do you do every day?" And Danny cuts in and says, "Oh, all he does is laugh all day. That's all he does. All he does is laugh all day." Yeah, that's true. And towards the end, even further towards the end, Robert and Danny there were at some job. Robert and Danny, one of them since the other. At least the hippies kept it. At least the hippies ran a tight ship, right? And I'm like, I wasn't a good employee, was I? And they said, if the shoe fits, wear it. And I said, yep, that's true. Oh my God. And then the final straw was, we went to this house, this job, and my job, Robert had me go under the house, crawl under the house, all the way, blah, 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 through, over the river and through the woods under this house to the other side to do whatever it was, run a wire or something, I don't know, whatever it was. Maybe I wasn't even holding anything. Maybe he just wanted me to scout it out. I go in, and it's really not that bad. I'm just a pansy. I go in there, I crawl, right? Plenty of room. It's not like I had a problem or anything, and there was light, It's not like it was too dark in there, under there. And I go and I do what he told me to do, and I come back, and what? I didn't quit at that point, but maybe the next day or something, I basically left him high and dry. I said, I really don't feel comfortable going under houses. Even I don't feel comfortable going up into heights. But just silly. I don't feel comfortable going under houses because I know there's spiders under there. Not that I even saw any, but I know there are some. And I just quit at that point. Not even 2 weeks notice type of thing. Just walk away, Billy. Just unfortunate. And so that was December of 1998. I'm still with Aaron. And at that point, we had lived at my friend Ron's house from high school, Ron's apartment. We lived there for, a few weeks, whatever. Probably not even 6 weeks, maybe a month, whatever. And whilst we were living at that apartment, I guess we were there for Halloween because we got to watch, right? We got to hand out candy and we got to watch Blair Witch Project there, and that was really cool. And we were there through November into December, and sometime in December, K-Rock had what was called Almost Acoustic Christmas live on the air, on the radio, 106.7 K-Rock. And Depeche Mode played, and during one of the performances, one of the songs, Dave Gahan says, "This is Billy Corgan," and Billy Corgan came out and sang, "I'm taking a ride with my best friend. I hope he never lets me down again." Never lets me down again is the song. Promises me I'm safe as houses, long as I remember who's wearing the trousers. Whereas Billy Corgan would sing it, long as I remember who's wearing the trousers. Right. Almost Acoustic Christmas was in December, so I guess we're there like 6 weeks, strangely enough. And Ron was there with his wife, Maggie Mecha, who, I was attracted to. I was in love with her, right? As I fell in love so many times at first sight, and I fell in love with her. And it's funny because Ron was married to her before and then got divorced, and now they're married again. Ha 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 ha. And Ron, in high school, Ron was boyfriend-girlfriend with Liz, who became Pete's girlfriend, right? Maggie was upwardly mobile. Aaron was upwardly mobile. Me and Ron were just skating through life, kind of piece of shit, whatever. Just not upwardly mobile at all. Not motivated. We didn't dress in Versace, even though I was a fashion model, and I got to model for Jeans West, and this and that, runway, print, whatever. I came in contact with nice clothes sometimes in my life, and most of the times I don't. Like Doug says, he dresses like a bum. That's true, I dress like a bum. Except today I'm wearing Abbey Road, which I am qualified and authorized to wear, of course, because I have crossed Abbey Road. That's right. So where am I? Maggie Metcha, overweight, literally fat, just like Aaron. She just had this spark. She was like a fine art painting in motion. Maggie Metcha. Not that I would do well being married to her, I don't think. She happened to be a florist of all things, and good for her. Florist at Pavilions, Vaughn's Pavilions. She was a dragon there. She was a regional manager at some point. I said, that's good for you, Maggie Metcha. I'm so glad you're still with me. I'm having so fun telling this. Telling all of my adventures, and don't even get me started. At some point I'm going to have to talk about Amy, but I only have 3 minutes left before I get off the freeway. Right? What was the point of my whole conversation? Right? Is that after Aaron and I moved out of Ron's apartment that had a dog. They had a dog there. It's the only time I've ever lived in a place that had a dog, but not that I cared for the dog or even hardly even saw the dog. I've never owned a dog in my life. Never, not once. Never cared for a dog 1 second in my whole life. I've pet a lot of dogs, and that's fine. But, I've taken care of cats. Aaron had cats, Lucinda had cats, changed the litter. Aaron and I left Ron Maggie's apartment and moved into the apartment on Verdugo Road in Glendale, just down the street from Glendale College. Erin gets a job at Glendale College in human resources. She is so hard charged, highly motivated, squared away, right? And here's me and Pete. Erin's doing her job. Goes in, goes out, day in, day out. She's been there a few months. And I'm working at this point at a company just further down the street called Ascar Business Systems, doing tech support for this Unix-based shipping software. Ascar Business Systems, blah, 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 right? And it was in 1999. So it was nice because I got to be involved in the whole Y2K stuff. This tech company had to deal with Y2K issues, and I was at the forefront of that. I got to play in that game, and that was really fun. One of the people there that worked there had a license plate that said "I heart Y2K bug." So great. Well, I gotta go this way. Right, going to Guitar Center, not the mall. And Aaron and I were living on Verdugo Road by Glendale College. Aaron gets a job at Glendale College in this bungalow. It's the closest point in Glendale College to our apartment, which is very convenient. In this bungalow, and here's me and Pete going in after hours through the night, somehow accessing the computer at Glendale College and Human Resources there, accessing their computer to use their high speed to steal movies and music, right? Yellow and all that stuff. Movies and music. And while I was there, we had been doing this several times, I opened a drawer, and lo and behold, there was diplomas in that drawer, right? Because people send in their diplomas in hopes that they'll give them a job, right? There at Glendale College. And so I take 3 diplomas and somehow make a copy of them, scan them, and put them back in the drawer. And I'm here, Guitar Center. I go, silly as I say it. Okay, go ahead. Okay, that's not a parking spot. Ridiculous. Always horrible parking here. Can't tell where the spots are. And it's like I've told this story a million times. I go home, and on just a little, I guess it was a Pentium 2 box at that time, in Microsoft Paint, I modify the names and the dates and the majors for some reason. Did I modify the major? Maybe. Microsoft Paint modified this information on these diplomas. I gave 2 diplomas to Aaron just for fun, and I gave 1 to me. One of the diplomas for Aaron was a bachelor's degree from Pepperdine. I forget what it was in. Pepperdine? Bachelor's degree. And the one was from Pepperdine, and the master's degree was, one or the other was USC. And it's so funny because Aaron at that point had like 1 maybe 2 semesters of college at all in SUNY Community College in New York, of all things. And I made a diploma for me, some college in Texas, and I never used it. I just playing around, threw it away, whatever. But she was a hard charger. She actually ended up using the diplomas to get a job as head of human resources at Earthlink. If this was Glendale, that was in Pasadena, a few miles away. Still pretty close. Is nice. And so she got hired as head of human resources, and soon hired me as hired me at Earthlink tech support, and it's really cool. And I guess, yeah, hired me at like $15 an hour, something like that. I don't know. Everyone else, some people caught wind that I got hired on at $15 an hour, and they had been there from the beginning, 6 years. This was like the first 6 years of the internet, and they had been there the whole time at Earthlink. And they were making $10 an hour, and here I am on day one making 15, and whatever, that's life. And I guess that was the punchline. It's 30 minutes, 6 o'clock. I have an hour to kill. I've had so much fun in my life. I guess Lucinda just really wanted my DNA because I'm a beautiful fashion model. Here you go, Lucinda. And we have our beautiful daughter, Paige. I was there for a few years. She was almost 3 when I left. I was a flight risk from day one. Amy Vomit. Because I was still in love with Amy Vomit. Punk rock girl. After I was with Aaron, I was with Amy, and then Amy and I broke up. We were together 8 months. Amy and I left Aaron June 1st, 2000, because one of the reasons is because Pete and I, after I worked blah blah blah. I worked at Ask Our Business Systems in Glendale, and I left there to go to work with Pete at a place in Long Beach or Signal Hill, called A&R Telecom. Right, and I was there 3 months, the probationary 3 months, right, and like on the very last day of the probation, we're driving home, and some guy on the freeway just rams right into us, smashes, pops the tire, does, a lot of damage. But at the time, it was apparently only like $1,400 of damage. Amazingly, it would be $5,000 of damage today. This is on Aaron and I had a brand new, there's another reason, blah, blah, blah. Aaron and I had a brand new Geo Metro. Beautiful red and silver, just the way I like it. A perfect car for me. She didn't like it, but I liked it. And we're young, and what happened was, so let me get back to the story. The car gets crashed, and I didn't have insurance, and Aaron didn't have insurance, and Pete did have insurance. So, right, because Aaron and I were so irresponsible, we would get insurance, and it would be good for a month, and we'd just never pay it again. And so at this point, we just didn't have insurance, and the car was only a few months old. Literally, it's crazy. It was literally crazy. Brand new car. How did that even happen? How was it even possible? A brand new car fresh off the lot. Wasn't insured. So Pete had insurance. And so what ended up happening was the insurance sent Pete the payout for the work for the car, to fix the car. And it was, again, $1,200 or $1,400, whatever. And what ended up happening was Pete cashed the check into small bills, 10s and 20s, and went into his bedroom with his wife Liz, and they had a money fight with it, right? And they were not in a hurry to give us the money, and I was not in a hurry either. And so what happened was, Aaron got mad at me, right? Irreparably. Aaron got mad at me because I did not get mad at Pete for keeping the money, right? You know, sooner than later we did get the money and the car got fixed, and you know, just Aaron was bitter, and that was one of the reasons we got divorced. And another reason we got divorced was I was under the impression that Aaron's mom bought the car outright, all in, just like that, right? It's only $10,000, right? $10,000, right? At the time, it's amazing. You could get a new car for $10,000. It was $1999, right? 2000, 1999, 2000, and so May comes around, and we get a coupon book in the mail, right? And I've never seen one before. I was like, "What is this?" And Aaron says, "Oh, that's, you know, the coupon book. There's, you know, a whole 36, however many months, 36 coupons. You tear one off, and you write a check to pay for the car, right? You do this 36 times, and the car is paid off." I'm like, "How is this possible?" I was literally right there in the room with you and your mom and the car dealer, and I saw your mom write a check for the car. How is this possible? And that was the last nail in my coffin. It's just you know, I'm so petty, you know. I'm so you know, so lazy, so spoiled. Oh. There's a little discomfort. I have to pay an extra bill. You know, I wasn't. Me and Aaron were really bad with bills. We didn't even get to the starting gate of finances. Just money came, money went, and it's like, how did we even survive? How did we pay rent? At least we weren't on drugs. The money didn't go to drugs, you know. I don't know. It was crazy. And so that bill, that coupon book came, and I June 1st, I walked out, and so on and so on. And yeah, Erin was already having an affair, which is so great. I'm so happy for her. This guy at Earthlink named TK Bayoun, Tariq. I guess she's into Muslims or something. I don't know. Good for her. She ended up marrying a Muslim. Yeah. Oh my gosh. If there was an instruction booklet on being married, I certainly didn't get it. I didn't read it. I was just hanging around. And then there was Amy, and then there was Lucinda, and then there was, you know, me and Lucinda had Paige, and I was on drugs, and I was a shithead. You know, it's a good thing I left before, you know, before I got in trouble. You know, and I did some college there. I was a math major while I was around with Lucinda and Paige, and I was a math major while I was around as a math major. But at least I got to sit in calculus class, and I got an A in calculus 1, I got an A minus in calculus 2, and then I stopped doing drugs for a time, and I went to calculus 3, and my brain was so fucked up that I fell behind the very first day of me being in the class, and I never caught up. I got so scared or daunted. It was so daunting. I never even cracked open the book. Just here and there, just on a whim, I'd be like, oh, what are we doing today? You know, a month later, whatever, you know. But I would go to class, right? I would go to class. And I sat in this multivariate calculus, calculus 3. I'm so glad I did, you know, because I got to learn about partial derivatives and double integral, partial derivative, right? And I got to learn about Green theorem. That was the very first thing I learned in math, right, was A is for apple, there's one apple, there's two bananas. And the very last thing I learned in math was Green theorem, which is you have a field in Cartesian space and you have a data plot and you encircle the data plot. And I'm imagining that Green theorem is just a labeling mechanism, a labeling method, because what it looks like to me, you have dots on the, you know, plot points on the graph, and you encircle them, right? And then you notate, right, the S shape for integral dx, x dx, whatever you're gonna say, right? And then in the S symbol, you put a circle, right, to denote that's Green theorem, right? And if it matters which direction the encircling circle is drawn, then you would indicate that arrow on the circle and S integral sign. So that was a lot of fun. You know. Green theorem. Yeah, and halfway through the semester, got kicked out. Right, I was taking 2 classes that semester in 2005, guitar lesson. 2 classes. It was Spanish 2 and Calculus 3. And like I said, I went off the drugs and my brain just went to pot, went to hell, couldn't string 2 words together. Fell behind in Spanish, but sat there every class, right? Looked at a couple of flashcards, went all the way to the final oral exam, you know, one-on-one with the instructor, and he started whatever he started, and I didn't fall. I failed the first sentence, and he's all, oh, okay, and he's all, you know, how are you doing in your other classes? And you have a conversation. Oh yeah, the math, you know, I got to learn multivariate calculus this semester. And he said, yeah, calculus, you know, and he writes on this paper the integral sign, e to the x equals a function f of u to the n, you know, sex equals fun. The Spanish teacher wrote that. That was so fun. And yeah, so in the middle of the semester, after taking the midterms for Spanish and calculus, for some reason I had the bright idea to go. I guess I went to see a movie on campus. I saw Herbie Fully Loaded. I went to see Herbie Fully Loaded, and then for some reason I went, you know, I said to myself, I'm blowing off steam, and I went to the bar on campus in Cal State Monterey Bay, and I drank, and somehow I ended up drinking 11 glasses of beer, and that's impossible. I don't drink at all. I should have been done at 1, maybe 2, or even a sip, and somehow I drank 11 to my count, right? And I got so stupid, right? So sloppy. You know, the bar was in this place that had like a like a dance floor, and then the stage, and the stairs go up, steps go up, and there was like this balloon on the side of the steps on the wall, and whatever, I just punched the balloon, popped it, and then I went back over near the bar, and there's a couch, and I flopped onto the couch, and this guy comes up and says, "You punched a hole in," he says something like, "Why did you do that?" Or, "That's bad that you did that." However he said, I don't know. I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "You punched a hole in the wall." I'm like, "Are you kidding?" I'm slurring. I don't know what's going on. I'm totally plastered. And he invites me to leave. And I get up. I get up. I stumble out. And, I'm thinking nothing of it. I'm new to the whole concept of being drunk. I've been drunk before, but very, very rare. And it's been a while. And this is October of 2005. 2005. And I wander outside, and there's police already waiting for me, right? Oh, God. I don't know. So fun. They start, questioning me, whatever. I was drunk, what? I was drunk. And there was kind of like a little hill in the ground, and the cop kind of backed me up, and I fell backwards down the hill, and they're all, he's drunk, and they hoist me into the back of the car, and oh, this is interesting. And the cop comes to the window and asks me for my social security number. I said, "If I tell you, will you let me go?" He said no, and he went away. And they whisked me off to jail. It was a holding tank in Salinas. It was so funny. Oh my God. I was there overnight, and I was put into this room that was probably meant to hold, I want to say 6 people. Let's say 6 people. The bench went around like that, around the wall. And let's say there's supposed to be 6 people sitting on the concrete bench, right? There was like 18 people in this room, like crammed. Oh my God, 18 men. And, oh God, it's so funny. This one guy picks up the phone. There's a phone on the wall. Dials a number. Says, "Yeah, hey, yeah, it's me. Where do I ever call you from?" Oh my God. And then there was a big black guy in there, in red, in prison gown, whatever. And it wasn't like you would see like Department of Corrections jumpsuit. It wasn't a jumpsuit, right? And there's a window, and people come by. The people that were in population would come by. They're in their cells. They come out, and one guy came by and sees the guy, and they see each other. "Oh, hey," and the black guy says to the guy outside, "They got me in paper." He says like that. Oh my God. He says to the guy, "Are you dirty? Are you dirty?" Oh my God. And then this other guy gets on the phone later and says, he's telling this person on the other end of the phone to go to his pickup truck, gives the exact address where his pickup truck is. Says, "Go in and get the drugs that are in the console, in the middle console," right? I'm like, it's cool that they trust that the cops aren't going to intercept the message and go to the truck themselves. But I guess it's all part of the game, It's cat and mouse. The cops don't care. Cops did their job. They arrested him. Don't care about getting bonus points by impounding a car for drugs that may or may not even be there. I don't know. So funny. And here I am. I had a jacket on. I had my clothes. I had my clothes. I had my jacket on with the zipper. And I was scribing my multivariate calculus homework on the wall for some reason. I thought it would be a fun thing to do, and I did it. Right? It was on page 1001, right, of the textbook, which means the textbook is way more than 1001 pages, right? The Stewart 5th edition and calculus, transcendental. Apparently transcendental means it's math that you have to agree upon, right? Let's say 2 + 2 = 4, or 2 + 2 could also be 5. I'm just throwing numbers around. I'm saying, I forget what the actual example might be, but it's literally like that. Like you have to tell your team, okay, this time we're going to make 2 + 2 = 5. Okay, all right, that's a transcendental concept, and now you know. Transcendental calculus. And here I am. How do you optimize the volume of a 3-dimensional object, right, given the interior, whatever it is, segment, whatever. That was the problem. That was like the main goal of that whole semester, was to answer that problem. And I talked to the professor, who was a professor at UPenn, and somehow ended up at Cal State Monterey Bay. He's such a hero. Comes down to help us. And it was Honda Hugh was his name. I had a conversation with him about that problem. Maybe it was on the phone, I don't know, but I didn't understand it at the time, or I understood it incorrectly, and I never did learn how to do it properly. Oh, it's just a cube, don't worry. Okay, no. It's not necessarily a cube, blah, blah, blah. It's not necessarily a cube. Calculus is so funny. It's math, but the actual number answer is not important. It's trivial. It's so fun. And, there's parts of calculus that you do with a calculator, but the main concept of calculus is not done with a calculator, and that's just absolutely incredible. Right? If you take the derivative of x squared, right, what you do is you take the x squared, the 2, you put it down in the front of the x. So the derivative of x squared is 2x, right? How do you have a calculator do that, right? The answer to the question, what is the derivative of x squared, is 2x. What are you going to punch on a calculator to do that? They have Wolfram Alpha website now. They have different websites where you can do this, and they, it's programmed to answer these questions, but a regular Casio calculator, what is it? Texas Instruments calculator doesn't have that button to solve an integral or a derivative. That's so fun. I love it. Won't stop, can't stop. More PT, drill sergeant, make it hurt, drill sergeant, make it hurt. Or maybe I should end this. I had so much fun. Maybe I'll do this on a regular basis. Yeah, right. I'm having so much fun in my life. And oh my gosh, Priscilla, What a wonderful weekend. It's Tuesday. Okay.